One of the many, many rules they had in the Magic Kingdom was no fires. Sources of foolomancy flames were readily available, though. Parson and his commanders camped out that night around a blazing fire pit of hamstered orange flames. The formation won't be necessary tomorrow, he told Artemis and Downer, his warlords. That's not to say something couldn't happen to me in there, but we don't need the show of force again. I think I've come to terms with them, and we're gonna work together. Just be on alert off to the side when I'm inside there. Yes, Warlord, said Artemis, the senior of the two. She had impressive stats and seemed like she knew her shit, but he'd have to get to know her better. The decrypted Jetstone troops were an unknown quantity right now. Alright, why don't you guys crash while I talk to the casters for a while? Downer stood up, but Artemis lingered on her bench for a moment and gave him a look like, Are you sure? She seemed to want to stick around. Good night, Parson added, giving it the mental force of an order. That was a trick he was still getting the hang of. The two left without a word. Come here, huddle, he told his casters. Maggie sat on the bench beside him, Wanda on the edge of the nearest bench. Jack and Sizemore crouched on the ground. Big Ace loomed over them, standing up and screening the group with his bulk. I want you to start thinking about what we can do in terms of link-ups between you all, Parson said, keeping his voice low. We're up against a guy who does linking all the time. That spell that ended our turn and wrecked the battle plan was from Charlescom, we think. So we need to expect that stuff every time, and hit him back with some of our own. He looked at each of them. Ace was smirking. Sizemore was looking down at the ground. Wanda was inscrutable as ever. And Jack's eyes were darting around in space. His gears had already begun to turn. Now I know link-ups are usually dangerous and they take their toll on you. But one thing we've got on our side here is unlimited access to masterclass Thinkomancers. It should be okay. We've got 4 disciplines we can combine. Crocomancy, Dirtomancy, Foolomancy, and Dollomancy. That's a lot of possible combinations to think about, and I've already got some ideas, alright? Ace and Jack nodded enthusiastically. Sizemore only once. Wanda tilted her head and raised her eyebrows as if to say, Go on. Parson leaned in further and dropped his voice to nearly a whisper. Tomorrow, I want to try and create a new unit. This might be Jack and Ace, or it might be Jack and Sizemore, but what I want is a mindless, scout-veiled unit. A stealth golem. Parson grinned. We're going to test out Charlie's defenses. And a few other things. Let's call this Operation Simply Walk into Mordor.